African apes, simians, chimpanzees, two-legged mammals who walk upright. Let's get into this. What you see here, the four consonants of the God of Israel. Dare I say the one of the gods of Israel. Dare I say the later God of Israel, the young God, the adopted God. But let's talk about how we're gonna pronounce these using attested grammar, not speculations, not, excuse my language, Negronomics, camp knowledge, not speculation, accusation, but none of the crazy things that are going around. Let's just see what historically that linguists, Northwest Semitic or Northeast Semitic linguists, anthropologists, archaeologists, all have, even rabbis have said the best construction of this would be using what they have found through history of the grammar of Semitic languages. You know, you're going backwards in time, starting with Akkadian. We know how Akkadian, how that language works. Then you may go to, you may say Ugaritic. You could go to Arabic, Aramaic, Hebrew. You can say Moabite. They know how all those languages work. Elamite, of course, hieroglyphics. So it's kind of crazy that these die-hard conspiracy theorists will not take the knowledge of what these professionals have painstakingly worked on and dedicated their life to deciphering these languages. They think that they worked it so hard just to hide it from everybody. But, and I think I've said it before, I was one of them. But once I started learning Hebrew from academic sources, scholarly sources, there's no use in being a conspiracy theorist. So, Hebrew Israelites love this. Hebrew roots sort of love this. This is sort of hated on, but recognized. But let's figure out how to pronounce these. I think I've said when when you find a Hebrew conjugation, you need to identify the root. You need to identify any prefixes, suffixes, and we know that these are third masculine singular imperfect prefixes. So these are prefixes. What I'm gonna do, just take these away. So this is the root. Hey, wah, hey. Now, we know that hey, wah, hey is also acceptable. You say it's interchangeable. The yod and the wah is sort of interchangeable. I believe one of them is later and one of them is earlier, like in history. And I might be wrong about this. One of them was mainly Aramaic, but even grammatically, this yod and wah can be interchangeable at sometimes at points. But me personally, I stay with hey, wah, hey. Hey, wah, hey, hey, wah, hey. Since that is what we see in the Tetragrammaton. So we know the shurish, and we know it's an imperfect because there was prefixes right here. So we have to find the stem. I've read this a few times that we're looking at yod hey wah hey. Remember those vowels that the BDB gives us. I say we've done this before. Remember those vowels. If you want to look for yourself, that's the number. Here's the page number. On the next page, we've read it. Many recent scholars explain yod, pathak hey, wah, sagol hey as hifil of hey wah hey. But most take it as the cow. All right, so we have two options. It can either be hifil imperfect or cow imperfect. And I think I mentioned it could be both, because I don't like to get into the theological ramifications, but that the Creator would be causative, active, and simple active is sort of unique or sort of eye-opening to me, at least. But this is what you see it right there, those two roots. I say, because I remember when in Netanyahu's class, I think it was brought up, well, how does the wah change to the yod? And we would look at the paradigm and we could never see how it would change it to the yod. So I just always ran with how does the yod turn into a wah? So I just always ran with the wah. So let's look in the let's look in this book, IBH, page 269. And we're going to look at these two irregular verbs. Hey, wah. Well, no, that's hit, yod, hey. We're going to just focus on hey, wah, hey. Because, you know, regular verbs are regular. Strong verbs are regular. They have regular patterns that you can recognize easily. But weak verbs or irregular verbs, they're different. I think you heard me. I said they're a monster within their own. It takes a lot of studying to be able to recognize it. So they give this paradigm for it. Well, let's go to something else first. Let's go to this first. First gutturals. That's what these are. This hey, it's a first guttural verb. On page 546. First gutturals for the cow. They have irregular vowel patterns. The normal vowel pattern, this is a ein. The normal vowel pattern would be a hirik and a schwa. But for first guttural, it's a pathak with a compound pathak. Now these are for statives. So you have a pathak with a methag and a compound schwa with a pathak. Let's look in the Hifil. Hifil has the same exact thing. Pathak, methag with a compound schwa with a methag. So I said one time, these have in irregular verbs, Hifil and cow imperfect, Hifil imperfect, have a lot of similarities. So let's go back to the other paradigm chart. All right, now the imperfect. It's going to have a hirik and a regular schwa, and then a sagol. Why sagol? Because in third haze, because these are also third haze, they have to follow a certain template as well. You have a sagol for the imperfect. Now let's look at the third hay paradigm. Third hay, cow, you got sagols. Whenever you have a hay, you got the sagol. In all paradigms, nifal, PL, pual, hitpael, hifil. You got third. You have the sagol for the mater, sagol hay, the hofal as well. And in the hifal, the hifil, you have a pathak for the prefix vowel, just like we seen in both first gutturals. have a pathak. Now the major difference with, this is an irregular. These two are sort of categories within themselves, to be and to live. These are in their own little separate category. Now the difference between those, that first root radical, and these have a schwa, simple schwa. So you have your simple schwa and your normal sagol hey for the imperfect. Now I believe there's some forms that have, like right here, there's some forms that have the compound, even a sagol compound. But in the imperfect, let's look, they're all where you will have your schwa is there. There's no compound schwa. All right, so just a little something, just your cow and hifil, first guttural, imperfect. They're both the same. What did we see they were? The imperfect prefix vowel was a pathak. Now the first root radical was a pathak, a compound schwa, a hataf pathak. The third hey vowel was always a sagol, and the imperfect was always a sagol for cow, for every binyan in the imperfect. Now we'll go right here, we'll go down here, let's put this line. For those irregular verbs, the hey, wa, hey, the hey, wa, hey, we had a sagol as the imperfect vowel. But on the first root radical, there was a pathak. And the third hey was a sagol. So a heric, pathak, and a sagol. Now because this is a first guttural, it's gonna take a pathak. It's not gonna be this heric. So we can X this out. Yeah, X that out. It's grammatically more probable that the prefix vowel is gonna be a pathak, either in the cal or the hifil. Now for that first root radical, the hey, you could say either one. How would we narrow it down? Well, I would go with this because it's more closely associated with this. Even though it was, hey, wah, hey, it's more closely associated with this than that. So we're gonna go with the schwa. this pen. I tried to clean this board and this pen's not wanting to write. So we're gonna go with the Pathak. And we're gonna go with the Schwa. Dang. Same one to do, if nothing. And for the third hey, it's always going to be a Segal in both scenarios. It's going to be a Segal, so we're going to put a Segal. It's not what to do. We have the Segal there. So we have Yo Pathak Hey. That's one syllable. If you know short vowels, you have to have, when it's unaccented, you have to have a closed syllable. You have to have consonant, vowel, consonant when it's unaccented, because the accent is back here. So you have to, through grammatical rules, you're gonna have to have yod, hey, yod, pathak, hey, the short vowel, yod, pathak, hey, yod, pathak, hey. It's one syllable. Then your second syllable is your wa with the Segal pretty much made her, since it's third hey verbs. So wet. Now yeah, wait. Now some people, something that you have that method right here, and sometimes that method can signify make this a long vowel. So I haven't been too critical if people want to say Yah, but then again, when you look back here, it doesn't have that method. So I'm not as, I used to be like, it needs to be yeah and not Yah, but it's your preference, I guess. But grammatically, it's more plausible that it's yeah, with, and remember, in the BDB, once again, like we said before, pay attention to these vowels. Yahweh. And we've talked about when people want to say, I'm just gonna do it in English. Yah, who, I'm doing it freaking backwards. What in the heck? Damn, that was crazy. Yahoo or Yahoo, these are short preteric and jussive forms. Yahoo is, one is for to add the verb after it. Let me see. Yahoo, and then that dash is where the verb will come. So this will be at the beginning, and then this dash is the verb with Yahoo. Who be the end of the end of the verbal conjugation, like Yeshayahu, Netanyahu. The verb comes first, and then the who, and the who is the jussive and preterite forms, short forms, like in the hollow. Where was it at? In names in which Yod-Heh-Wah-Heh is the final element. This Wah will be a vowel, and it's giving you Yahoo the same way as Yishtechaweh changes to Yishtechu. It'll be Yahu, just like, because it's a third hey. That third hey drops and the Wah becomes a vowel. This third hey right here drops, and this Wah with this vowel becomes a shuruk. So like I said in that video is another example. Yahoo is not evidence of Yahuwah. Yahoo is not evidence of Yehovah or Jehovah. If you don't know grammar, you don't know where these are coming from. Yahoo or Yeho, I should change that. I didn't make that same mistake last time. Yeho. I made the same mistake. Yahoo and Yeho. These are not evidence of Yahuwah or Yehovah or Yehovah. It's not what those are denoting. And this Yahuwah that Hebrew roots and Israelites love so much. I talked about it in the last video. U is a passive marker for your second vowel. So if you're using Yahuwah as your second vowel, you're saying that this name denotes a passive deity. And what we've seen is in the Cal and the Hiphil, two active binyanim. So it can't be passive. And why do you want your God to be passive? Like he's not doing anything. And if we look, once again, the pronunciation of Yehovah was unknown until 1520 when it was introduced. It's Kiri and Ketel. It's right here. The Kiri of Adonai and the Kiri of Elohim. In the hallowed, Yahweh was the original form. It's pronounced in the first instance in Genesis 2:4 and 4:26, pronounced as Adonai in the Masoretic text. It's saying since the 1st century AD, they've been using Kiri and Ketel by using these vowels. They use Hashem, having become the unpronounceable when together with Adonai and Elohim the wrong pronunciation, improperly missing Curie and Katev. Oh, I think Katev and Curie. Generally used since the 1500s. First reference, 1381. Like, Yehovah is not evidence of, Yahweh is not evidence of Yehovah. Yahoo is not evidence of Yahuwah. It's grammatical forms. And like, I hope this works. This is some more. Let's be like Yahuwah. Okay. Let's go down here. Or Yahuwah, because that's what they're saying. You're going to put a comments right here, right? Then you're going to put Shua. Then, so you got Yah. I guess they're going to go Yah. They're going to go consonant, vowel, consonant. And then I guess they're going to go Holomwa. But then so you say Yehovah. So you got should be but they say Yah. Well, let's get rid of this schwa form, even though it's got to be there. Let's get rid of this schwa. So they're gonna say Yah Ho. Then where's this vowel at? Where's this vowel at? Okay, they say this is a mater. So they're gonna put. They want to put a comments there for the ah, but the comments has to go under this. Has to go under here. So what are they doing? They're switching that right there. Yahovah. But how? How are you getting this conjugation? Okay, like say, well, it's the cow thing vowel, but the thing vowel is under the second root radical, so it would need to be right here and not right there. And even though this has a pathak, this has a heric, but they want to put a comments there. Okay, where's their comments? It's under. Well, no, I was gonna say you can do it in the hip field, but it's a pathak as well. So where you getting this comments from? And how are you putting this holum under the first root radical when it's supposed to be under the second root radical? If you're going to say this is just a cow imperfect, it should be under the second root radical right here. But you can't have two vowels back to back. That's against syllabification, the rules of syllabification. You can't have two vowels back to back, and in order for this to be a mater, it has to be under a consonant. The consonant comes before it. Like, okay, if you say this, it would be wa. This H is really just given the matrix lectionis indicator of a long A vowel. So you have to say wa. So you kind of would just be left with Yah Wah. See, like, it don't, I've said it before, it don't make no grammatical sense. It makes no sense. And even the same way, if you wanna make this shuruk for Yahuwah, well, where's this mater? Where's this comment's gonna go under? It has to go under a consonant. And it's not. It's like two vowels back to back, and that's not permitted in Hebrew and Aramaic. I hadn't seen it in Arabic. Like, it just doesn't fit any grammatical template. So, man, I hope, this, you might have heard me say a lot of times, get academic books and listen to scholars, but they are also fringe scholars on, go use your brain and go with what makes sense. The grammar dictates how it has to be vocalized, because it's not like people sat down and decided this. It's like what was natural at the time. What is that? Nehemiah Gordon, he likes to, and there's some rabbinical Jews that like to say that it's hey wah hey in the cow, in the past, in the imperfect, the perfect, and then I guess the participle, masculine singular participle, because they say the present. In the past, future, and present, put into one. But like, then you're sort of nitpicking the vowels. Like, you placing the vowels where you want them to go. Let me see if I can explain that. So, like, you got your perfect. The vowels are comets. This board is wet. That's what it is. Pathac vowels. Imperfect. You got headache and hold on. Then I don't know, man. They're trying to say the past, present. What would be the present, though? Only thing I think of is a participle. But that would be a holum sede. I don't know. They say Jehovah is from all three forms put together, but that's 6 vowels, but you're only using 3. So how are you're nitpicking which vowels you want to use? Like, learn biblical Hebrew, learn your paradigms, and use common sense. Like, I could read this, and I could read this, and I could listen to explanations, but if you don't know this, you're just gonna listen to whatever. Like, we have brains, use your brain. Alright, chimps and chimpettes, great apes and African apes. Catch me swinging somewhere.